Boys and girls, this is the Undisputed Era. Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, and you're listening to Going In Raw, baby.
What's up? This is the most must-see WWE superstar of all time and his lovely, gorgeous wife, Marie. And you are going in Smackdown Live.
Hi, this is Shinsuke Nakamura. Shinsuke watching Going In the Raw.
Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steve and Larson, and available wherever podcasts can be found. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, notify bell next to it. Make sure you always get your new Going In Raw notifications. We're also available on the Patreon at patreon.com/Steve and Larson. It's a great way to support Going In Raw. I think we got some new patrons, at least one over the past 24 hours, maybe even two. Two. Sweet. Let's see here. Who we have here? Michael Riggs, Derek Matheson, and Carlos Villalba. Thank you very much for your support.
Thank you.
At the $5 mark, you get a bonus episode 5 days a week. And then also, if you become a YouTube channel member here at the channel, you get access to those as well. So if you've been hesitant to join the Patreon and you'd rather just plunk that money down to Google, by all means, click that join button and you have access to all that lovely bonus content. It's been a while since we've had, in case you're watching live, it's been a while since we've had a botch. So that's the joy of watching this show live, is that every once in a while. It's been a while. It's actually been a little while since we've had something freeze on us. So, you can't get them all right.
It's been a little while.
Anyways, I just feel like WWE's been botchy lately in general, so why not follow suit, right? Anyways, my goodness gracious. So a couple announcements really quick. This Friday morning over at twitch.tv/Steve and Larson, we've got WeBook Money in the Bank.
You got that right.
That should be a lot of fun.
It will be a lot of fun.
What's the main event there? Ladder match for the Undisputed Championship.
You got Rawgate Mutant, Adam Cole, baby, Aleister Black. Who else is in it? Roman Reigns.
Chill Roman.
Rawgate
Mutant's in it, right?
Yeah, a couple other guys.
Yeah. Oh, man, that's good. So that's going on. And then, of course, we're just about a week and a half out from Friendo Fest 2019,
Yes.
Las Vegas, Tuscany Suites and Casinos. We will be there doing our very first live before a studio audience podcast. It should be a lot of fun. Shenanigans will ensue.
Of course.
11 a.m. Sunday, May 26th.
Maybe a guest or two.
Las Vegas. So if you're in town for Double or Nothing or you happen to live in Las Vegas, come on out. Completely free. You don't even need a bracelet for StarCast 2. But I would suggest get a bracelet for StarCast 2. It looks like it's a really fun thing.
And we'll talk about this more on the Friday news show. But, man, AEW on TNT. We know drama and wrestling.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
It's cool. Anxious to see what it's going to
look
look
like.
like.
Once that debuts, done talking WWE forever.
Oh, you can do that.
Don't have to talk about it anymore.
You can make that $10 a day YouTube revenue on that.
No way, man. Enthusiasm.
Yeah, we'll
a lot
see.
of enthusiasm for the All Elite. Not so much for the WWE.
I'm just gonna sort of see when we get there. I'll see what it looks like when we get there.
Oh, it's gonna look majestic. Amazing.
Oh my God, you're getting your hopes way too up for that.
This could be the greatest wrestling product of all time, Steve.
Oh my God, it's
just you wait.
Oh Lord,
just you wait. You're not gonna want to watch WWE anymore. You're like, what is this trash?
To be honest with you, part of me doesn't want to watch it anyways.
Yeah, no, me too.
Let's talk
that
about
wasn't painfully evident yesterday.
So, okay, well, let's yeah, boy, you're on another one yesterday. I think you realized it towards the end of the show too.
No, I realized it early on. I told you before you started. It's like, it's going to be one of those days, Steve.
Yeah. What do you think of SmackDown last night?
Uneven.
I told you, I tweeted this out. I was like, I don't really know what to think of SmackDown. Like, I think I enjoy it. Just, I don't know. It didn't seem to pop as much last night. And I honestly don't know if that's because of the hubbub about the Kabuki Warriors.
Well, here's another thing to consider. And granted, I haven't listened to it yet, but there was someone who apparently called in the Wade Keller podcast. You hear about that?
Oh, yeah.
I haven't listened to the show yet. I'm going to listen to it at the gym today. I read the recap on, I think, NoDQ.com, and one of the things they mentioned is that there's no separate writing teams anymore.
Yeah, there's 37 writers on a single team.
Yeah.
So I was hesitant to give it more than a grain of salt until I saw a tweet this morning.
From Sean Ross Sapp?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that too.
So we're going to talk about it in pretty big depth on Friday.
Yeah.
But
I really want to listen to the actual show. I didn't want to just base.
I started to yesterday, and when he said, "Yeah, I know a guy," I was like, okay, well, before I commit to listening to all this,
You need some separate
I
corroboration.
kind of want to
yeah.
know that
Yeah, I
this
know.
isn't just a dude.
Who's calling in having a laugh. Yes, obviously.
One of the more striking things to me, and here's the thing, I was giving this the benefit of the doubt because the idea that Triple H is the most frustrated person there. And that's something that I had the reason why I had thought to myself, there's no way he could give a crap about all the stuff that Vince sort of trashes with NXT.
Yeah.
Is because how do you not go insane? It's kind of like the Roman thing. Like, man, Roman's got to feel kind of like going insane back when it was like time after time. It's like, well, I think at a certain point, don't you have to emotionally separate yourself? Otherwise, you're going to go insane.
There might be two different aspects to it for Triple H. We're getting to a conversation that we'll get into more on Friday and deviating completely from what SmackDown happened with SmackDown. But nonetheless, here we go.
Yeah, it's part of a larger
There's
thing.
probably two aspects to it. There's one. There's Triple H's own personal attachment to NXT and the talents he helped nurture there. That's one aspect. But then there's also the talents that he nurtured there and their relationship with him. So maybe for himself, he can kind of remove himself from his own emotional attachment to a degree. But that's not necessarily reciprocated. So when a talent in NXT that he may have had a pretty decent relationship with gets called to the main roster, it gets completely bungled, and they go up to him and say, "What do I need to do? This is garbage. This sucks."
Yeah.
He can't turn that off.
Yeah, I know.
He can't turn that person's feelings off.
Yeah.
So he still has to deal with that, and that probably is not people coming up to him and complaining to him is a source of frustration, but the fact that this probably happens on a regular basis, and he's more or less powerless to do anything about it, that's probably a source of frustration.
Yeah.
I mean, from his own vantage point, he can probably say, okay, I have to remove myself, otherwise, as you said, this is going to drive me crazy. However, same can't be said for talents who have been up from NXT for less than a year and still dealing with the fact that on main roster, it's a shit show.
Did you read any of the variety piece?
Not yet. Again, Friday. Yes.
It's the most frustrating, freaking butt-kissing puff piece I've read, and it completely validates anything Vince McMahon is doing. Everything he's doing, it validates it all. It basically labels him as the creative mastermind of wrestling, And it's so bad, and it's long. It's so long, and it just glorifies the WWE, and it kind of minimizes any issues that the WWE has. Let me ask you this. Again, we're getting into this, but we'll get back to SmackDown in a second.
Yeah. We'll just do some surface level talk here.
Let me ask you this. Are the issues with WWE that we've been especially harping on lately, are they any different than it was 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago? They're just amplified now because this new thing that is a viable alternative is on the horizon. Are they amplified? Is it amplified because he seems to be losing it more? Or is it the same as it has been? It's just amplified because of outside scenarios? Is it amplified because of the Saudi Arabia thing? Are things literally do seem to be getting weirder and kind of worse. They legitimately kind of do.
I think it feels like it's been moving in that direction from a creative standpoint. You mentioned some of the business decisions they made, and then you have legit competition on the horizon. That's those three things create a perfect storm. You're like, why? Like I said, at times yesterday, I was like, why am I even watching this?
Well, we have to. It's our job.
No, exactly. That's why I am.
Yeah.
But remove myself from that. I do this for a profession. And it's like, why am I dedicating 3 hours on Monday night to something
putting yourself in the fans'
at this moment
position
isn't bringing me much enjoyment?
Yeah.
In moments, yes, but for sustained for 3 hours, no.
To loop it back into our discussion here we're about to have about SmackDown as well is part of Kevin Owens' video package was his perfect pitch.
Yep.
Freaking perfect NXT call-up.
Yep.
He showed up with the NXT title and demonstrated why NXT was the place to be.
Stomped on the U.S. title. Held up the NXT title. Yeah,
it was beautiful.
It was good. It was really
so
good.
I think there has been a distinct change in the way things are being done.
When was the Ascension called up? Because it wasn't that long after Owens. So, I mean, it's not as if every NXT call-up from like 2014 to 2017 was spotless.
Yeah.
Was spot on.
Yeah.
I think still Kevin Owens and Finn Balor, for the most part, are outliers in that regard. Those are the two call-ups that have been handled more or less perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
And I really can't think of anybody else's call-up who was handled with the same, with the respect that should be given to their NXT runs, if that makes sense.
I think a case could be made. I know that like some of the minutia. I think Asuka was handled.
I understand your point that she was treated like a star, and they gave her kind of the pageantry associated with that, but she wasn't booked like a star. I don't feel like
She didn't lose until WrestleMania.
Her first match should not have been competitive in the least.
Yeah, I know. I get, but I think that's.
She showed up in the locker room. People were like, "All right, cool."
I think
Asuka's
that's
here.
details. I think that's
details matter.
I mean, she had matches in NXT that were competitive.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't they be competitive on main roster?
Because like half the time when someone gets called up, here's the thing: Emma hasn't. I like Emma. She hadn't really done squat in her tenure on the main roster. I don't know. It just felt like a situation. The rematch they had on Raw, like the night after, where Asuka dominated more or less, that should have been the pay-per-view match.
Yeah.
If you really want to establish Asuka as the force that she was in NXT, she's got to take on main roster talent and dominate them.
I don't disagree with you. I think that a debate could be had there. I think that was pre. I'll put it this way. I think that was pre, like straight up bungling. I think what we've seen lately. This last round.
Oh, it's absolutely bungling. Yeah, they have no idea what they're doing.
I think there's a big delineation there between and maybe it's on a scale. Maybe it's like it's gone downhill. Maybe it's been like, hey, they really knew what they were doing with Finn and Kevin Owens. And then you get to Shinsuke and it's like, okay, you're kind of getting into decent. You're okay, but it's not as impactful as it should be. And then you get to Bob Roode and it's like, whoa, what are you doing? Or Asuka, and it's like. The case could be made. She'd be booked stronger. The case could be made. The match with Charlotte could have been longer or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then you get down to like Bob Roode, and it's like, whoa, okay, so he has a squash match with Aiden English. It wasn't really a squash match. There was a commercial break there. I remember that.
Yeah, if it's long enough for a commercial break, then it's not a squash match.
Right. But he was smiling, so I was like, okay, what are you doing? And then this last time they did a slideshow. They did 2 slideshows.
Yeah, the last 2 times they've done slideshows and video packages. Yeah.
Terrible.
You know?
And then putting them together randomly as tag teams. I mean, DIY is not random, but they're in like in the middle of a kind of a feud.
Well, I think Alistair and Ricochet were already put together for the Dusty Classic, so they probably just thought, well, let's keep them as a tag team on the main.
I don't know what came first in that case.
I don't either.
I don't know if they're like, hey, we're going to put you guys together on.
There was some sort of synergy though, saying, okay, well, they're a tag team in one show, so might as well keep them a tag team in the other. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm guessing since the Dusty Classic was done in advance, that might have came first, but I don't know.
Boy, terrible call-ups. And then now we're getting kind of a redo with those. We had a really cool Ricochet bit last night, which I thought took good advantage of the wild card rule, even though it was a bad idea for him to do that.
Yes.
And then we had...
Alistair needs to stop talking. He needs to start fighting.
Alistair still doing these promos. Yeah, I know, but promo usually means, hey, this is a big deal. That's what usually a promo means. So anyways, and then
or it could mean promo. We need to keep you on TV, but we don't know what we're doing with you yet.
That's true too. That's a possibility. I liked his bit last night though.
You referenced Shakespeare, so that's cool, I guess.
Let's see here. So I kind of liked every.
I appreciated the fact they opened the show with a promo segment, but instead of having the tag match right there to kick off the show, they kicked it down the road a bit and had it start the second hour. So at least they weren't following to the T the Raw formula.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I'm not huge on Roman Reigns promo starting off anything.
Here's what I was worried about with this whole wild card rule. And it's the same thing that worries me about getting rid of the brand split. You still got the same 3 stories dominating each show, more or less.
Well,
it's basically you got the Roman story dominating each show right now.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. That's the problem.
And then there's been a lackluster build for the actual ladder matches.
Yeah. Here's the silly aspect of the wild card rule too, because it could be used effectively, like Ricochet coming out. Oh, that's kind of cool.
And see, that's the instance where they're trying to actually build hype for their Money in the Bank match. Yes.
But then when Sammy comes out at the end and Michael Cole screams, "He's the 4th wild card!" That's so dumb.
There doesn't have to be 4. Like no one can show up.
Right. Just internalize it. It's like, okay, listen, we're gonna have a limited number. It's gonna be up to 4. We can't do more than that. Yeah. We don't have to scream wild card rule like that episode of Always Sunny. Which I now I get the reference, and I'm sad that I didn't get it before when a friendo pointed out, because I had actually seen that episode.
Oh, gotcha.
And it was actually hilarious.
That's funny. But or like Apollo Crews on Raw, we're like, hey, we need someone to lose. Here, let's have Apollo Crews come over here and lose to Mojo. Why? There's no one on Raw you can job out to Mojo?
Yeah.
Why'd they bring someone from SmackDown?
But dude, at least that time they didn't say he's the third wild card. You know.
I think they probably used the phrase wild card rule though, because they had a SmackDown lower third.
Yeah. Anyways,
it's just frustrating that now there's only like 3 or 4 storylines going on both Raw and SmackDown.
And then we'll unpack the Kabuki Warriors situation.
Yeah, that's a complex one.
When we get to it, I had the good friendo Karen, who speaks fluent, I believe, Japanese, is very heavily involved in sort of the New Japan scene. I know she translates a lot of.
She lived in Japan for a while.
She lived in Japan for a while. She's translated. I think Show has a blog that she's translated.
She also on her own blog translates a lot of Asuka and Kairi's WWE Japan promos.
Yeah, I'll put a link to that in the description.
Yes.
And yeah, I asked her, I said, hey, could you write up a thing, because we're not nearly as educated as she is with some of the aspects and problems with the Kabuki Warrior thing. I asked her to write up sort of a thing, because I don't know how to Zoom people in, man. And she's working right now anyways, but I'm not going to put it on her. I'll put it on me. I don't know how to do that. We need to figure out how to Zoom people in. Do you know what Zoom is?
Yeah, it's a teleconferencing thing.
That's right.
Yeah.
So when I say Zoom people in, that's what I mean. I don't mean some sort of teleportation.
Well, I didn't know if you meant at first. I had to think about it at first when have people focus on the subject, like zoom in on the subject. But I thought you meant at first, but then zoom.
I don't know how to make people focus. Karen here in chat, she's also one of our mods. She's like amazing. She's essentially the third member of Going In Raw, but she's never on the show. That's my fault. She says 5.5 years in Japan, business level Japanese. So she's steeped in this stuff. I know she has had many hugs from many New Japan stars who appreciate the work that she does on Twitter, promoting the product, translating, and exposing the product to a wider audience. So yeah, she says we could also fly her out as well. So yes,
that's true.
It's on us. It's on us.
Totally.
So anyway, she wrote up a fairly lengthy thing about it, but I'm going to read the whole damn thing because it's our show. We can do that.
We can do what we want.
Yeah. But we'll get to that when we get to it. First off, SmackDown started with a Roman Reigns promo. Oh, hold on. One thing I forgot. We have a new member also. Worst Day Ever 2324. New channel member.
Thank you.
I don't know if we had mentioned that.
No, we hadn't yet.
Roman Reigns came out
again
and did a promo.
Is this the 4th show in a row he's opened?
He's on a new streak, man.
Instead of main eventing WrestleMania, he's opening every show.
Yep. He's looking for 100, maybe even 1,000.
Guess so. So he comes out and he kind of recaps what happened Monday, and he says Elias is a problem. And right now, introduce you to one of the solutions to the problem. Here's the Miz. Miz comes to the ring. He tries to sing Wonderwall.
Ill-advised.
Yeah, he realized that. And he hypes his match against Shane at Money in the Bank. He more or less delivered, I feel like, the same promo he did on Raw.
That's the problem. That's the problem with doing this stuff, is that they don't, like, does Vince think that there's some SmackDown-specific audience that isn't watching Raw the night before?
No, you should look at the ratings because SmackDown actually has fewer viewers than Raw.
And they're probably all people who have watched Raw already.
Yeah. I would guess the crossover be in the high 90s. Anyways, that brings Shane and Elias to the stage. Shane, again, says, hey, I'm the authority here. I didn't okay you being here, Miz. Therefore, you are banned from the arena for the rest of the night. And he also more or less says, Roman, you got to get out of here too. Neither Roman nor the Miz leave the ring. So Shane says, come on, Daniel Bryan, Eric Rowan, let's go clear the ring out. So the 4 of them start marching down towards the ring. They get in there. They attack. Usos come out and make the save. Hit double suicide dives, but they get laid out by Rowan. Eventually, though, there's a brawl between everybody in the ring. Faces clear the ring.
You know what would be awesome that they're not going to do?
What?
Make Roman and the Usos into a true faction.
Dude, that'd be cool, but it's not going to happen.
And then Roman could be like, he could be like the chill Roman, but then they're both kind of like the guys who are always like going off talking about penitentiaries and stuff.
Yeah.
And he could be the guy saying tranquilo.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
No, it's not going to happen because that might actually be
How cool would he look if he dressed like them?
Oh, amazing.
Like, because they dress really cool.
Yeah. That'd be great, but it's not going to happen, sadly. Anyways.
Why won't it happen, Larson?
Because Vince
Vince is old and he likes people wearing bulletproof vests.
He doesn't want to do anything interesting. So we're backstage after commercial break, and Shane, Elias, Daniel Bryan, Eric Rowan, they're talking. And Shane makes a 4-on-3 tag match, the four of them versus Roman and Usos. And he says if The Miz comes out to the ring during the match, their cage match, Money in the Bank, canceled.
To add something positive to this, during this segment, Shane sometimes, when Shane's like out of breath and in the moment corrupt with power, he comes off like he's just, he comes off like an 80s movie villain who's on cocaine.
I know.
Because he has cocaine vibe to him.
He does.
I'm not suggesting at all that he's doing it.
No. He might just have bad allergies.
But and that adds a little bit of villainy to him because kind of really
he's got that nasally sounding voice.
Once you're out of the 80s and into the 90s, kind of only villains really do cocaine. You know, like in the movies and TV shows, like cocaine's kind of a villainy thing.
I can't think of an example that would contradict that, but
you know, like when you're in the 70s and 80s, everybody was like mom and dads were doing it.
Totally, yeah.
You know, everybody was doing cocaine then. You'd be totally a good guy.
Yeah.
But then once you hit the 90s, everybody knows that, you know, you could just die from it.
Yeah.
It's only bad guys do.
Yeah, because apparently they don't care.
Right, exactly.
So first match of the night is the Fatal 4-Way between the four participants in the Money in the Bank ladder match. The SmackDown
was a fun match.
Yeah, it was.
Boy.
Randall Orton versus Andrade Almas versus Mustafa Ali versus Finn Balor.
Just look at three of those names, and even Randy Orton. Randy Orton's great. Andrade, Mustafa Ali, and Finn Balor. Holy, SmackDown's got just a killer roster.
Yeah, they should really focus on the wrestling aspect.
That's why when like Roman rolls over, and I think Roman could be utilized so perfectly, but they just don't.
For like 2 weeks, 3 weeks maybe after he came back, when he said, after he said, "I'm in remission, y'all." Mm-hmm. Where he just seemed like he was being himself.
With Vince, it's just back to business as usual.
I know. He seemed like he was being Joe.
Yeah.
And Joe seemed like
he even said that.
He seemed like he's a very relatable, humble dude.
Yeah.
Likeable.
Yeah.
And then like on Raw this past week when Miz is out there pitching the buddy comedy to Roman. Roman's like, I don't want that Miz.
Mm-hmm.
No. I want to see the buddy comedy between Roman and the Miz. I think everybody wants to see that.
Yeah.
Now, if he had said, okay, yeah, that sounds great, we'll talk about that backstage. Let's pivot to something else.
Why don't you let Roman do like what we do? You'll say something, and then I'll hop on it, and we'll make it a thing.
Yeah.
Why don't they let them do all those guys? They know each other. They travel with each other. I guarantee they all have great chemistry. We've seen it, like, for example, with Mixed Match Challenge, we've seen between the guys and gals, we've seen this amazing chemistry where they could just hop off each other.
I'm convinced Vince doesn't want anybody to have any sort of distinctive character whatsoever.
Nobody improvs.
No, because
They're
it's
not allowed to.
It's not allowed. And it's ridiculous.
It is.
So it's all this cookie cutter promo business, and it's boring.
Terrific match, though.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. So, yeah, Orton doled out a promo as Lena Vega comes out and she talks. I like that she had a hook for hers.
Yeah, spoilers.
Yeah.
Here's a spoiler. Yeah. Andrade's going to win. Andrade drops a promo afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
This is a fun match. They gave it 2 commercial breaks, remember correctly. Or a picture-in-picture and then commercial break.
Yeah, this was long. The
tag match was pretty long, too.
The tag match was kind of needlessly very long. That was there was 3 commercial breaks.
Yeah, that was a really long tag match. Anyways, towards the end, Andrade pulls out a couple ladders from under the ring, brings one of them into the ring. This is pretty brutal. That a couple spots where Ali did the slingshot plunge over the top rope and just goes right into the ladder.
Yeah.
Ow.
Ouch.
Ow. Ali misses a 450. He rolls through, and as he pops up, Orton hits him with an RKO.
That was
great.
amazing.
That was great.
That was so great. How many RKOs are we going to see? That's got to be a prop bet. How many RKOs are we going to see during that ladder match?
2.
2? Only 2? I think there's going to be 4 or 5. I think there's going to be one sequence when he just doles them out.
It doesn't really count until I actually put it down here. When we actually do our predictions. That's when it
fair
counts. I can reconsider.
Let's see here.
But then everybody's on the outside, save for Finn. He hits a tope on Ali and Orton. Almost instantly picks him up and throws him to the ring steps. Tosses him back in the ring, hits the hammerlock DDT, and picks up the win for his team. And then he brings the ladder in the ring, starts to climb it. Ricochet runs out. He does a springboard jump onto the ladder. Seamless. Amazing.
That's how you utilize Ricochet.
Yeah.
Just have him do a lot of cool things.
And that's probably his role is going to be in the ladder match.
Yes. Not winner, though, because
he
climbed it and knocked Andrade off and grabbed the briefcase. And he still had it backstage.
Yeah, I know.
He did an interview.
He's totally not winning. If you touch that briefcase before you win the bank, you
Not
ain't
only
winning.
did he touch it, he went backstage with it and did a .com
So all
interview.
the participants, let's see, who's touched the briefcase so far? Ricochet has.
Too many people, man.
I think just Ricochet.
Oh, is it just Ricochet?
But who's touched the ladder? That's another thing.
Baron climbed it.
Oh, Baron climbed it. He's not winning.
Wait a second. Did Ricochet touch
Ricochet,
it on Raw?
no, he just knocked Baron off.
Okay.
So
I was going to say maybe the two cancel each other out.
So Ricochet, whoever's ever touched the ladder in a non-match capacity, they're not winning. So that means Ricochet's not winning, Baron's not winning, and Andrade's not winning because he started to climb.
Plus Andrade won last night.
Yeah. So that leaves Sammy. He's not
No.
going to win. Drew,
Well, it's Drew. Drew's going to win. We both know that.
Mustafa, Finn, or Randy. Yeah, it's got to be Drew.
It's going to be Drew. It's got to be Drew.
Really has to be Drew.
Yeah. He's a big, big star, and he's the kind of guy who can be wild card number one, which means you're on both shows opening the show with a promo. Oh, my God. The wild card rule just ruined SmackDown. All right, let's see here. After
Next, Carmella iPhone promo. She talked about winning Money in the Bank the first year, not once, but twice. Says she's going to do the three-peat now.
that. Yeah. Well, that's good. Good confidence. After that, sorry, she has something to add?
No.
I do like that she's bringing up that first one, though. You want to dive into the details on that one, Carmella? Probably not. You're a good guy now.
Yeah. After that, Kofi and Xavier Woods are backstage. Kofi says to Xavier, hey, I'm going to go out there tonight in this KO show and handle my business.
I really like that.
I know you're not 100%. Don't worry about it. I got it.
Yeah. When these guys, because of their chemistry, when they interact, it kind of just feels like improv, you know?
Yeah, I know.
Sometimes it's just, you know, but then that's like the outlier, you know? That's like the one time out of 20 we
I know.
get that just don't.
I know.
Anyway.
Owens kind of feels that way at times, too.
Owens feels totally natural. I mean, a lot of them do. I don't know. I don't want to be too bitchy. It's just Vince has been giving me reasons to be bitchy about it lately.
Hey, man, you can be critical. Being critical isn't the same as being negative.
Yeah, I know. I just have a negative feeling towards it these days.
That's fine.
You know.
Don't fake it.
I'm not faking anything.
Be real. After that, we had like a weird kind of introductory promo from Charlotte to throw to a video package. And the video package was cool and all, but it seemed like Charlotte doing the promo in advance seemed completely superfluous.
Hey, Stephen Larson, this is Charlotte with my Matt Chat question.
Here's a recap of my feud with Becky Lynch, going back to her days with NXT. I feel like I should have the upper hand in all the titles. What's your opinion on this? How do you feel about that?
No, she just says, I feel like I should have all the titles. And then it cuts out, and it's like, wait, what's the question? Does she have a question in that? Look at the video promo. Was there a question in there? After that, there was a Lacey Evans promo. This is the first time that I sort of felt like Lacey came off as a bit awkward.
Yeah.
She was just sort of talking to the camera. I think she
thrives in front of an audience. Yes, I agree.
and bouncing off people.
Yes, agreed.
I think she does. So just her and a camera and some cameraman breathing heavy.
This felt pretty stilted.
It did. Yeah, it did.
I did like the collection of hats she had behind her on the wall.
You know what it might
That's a
be?
nice detail.
You know what it might be?
What?
When you're bouncing off somebody, your lines make more sense. When it's just you and a camera guy, kind of like with Braun. It's just you and a camera guy, and you have like a freaking 5-minute soliloquy to get through.
It's like acting in front of a green screen. There's nothing to bounce off of. You're not immersed in an environment.
Yeah.
And it seems like they're focusing more on that kind of promo of late. Like all these straight to camera promos. Mm-hmm. It's very old school.
Yeah.
Like they really need to mix up their presentation. I get another thing from the Keller thing was apparently like they wanted very different presentations for each show in terms of production. Again, great idea. Give me the fly on the wall TNA stuff. That's the best thing TNA ever did.
Whoever just had Mustafa Ali produce all the promos.
Craig Mitchell, the guy who shoots the stuff. I think that's his name.
Is that his name?
I think so.
Who's the guy who does the Chronicle Performance Center stuff?
Oh, that's a different
Whoever
dude.
you have doing that Performance Center channel
Yeah.
Commercial they have, the ad for it, is so well done.
I know.
It's so beautiful. You have that at your disposal. Why wouldn't you feature it?
Like even the WWE Netherlands Twitter page.
Yeah.
They shoot their stuff with the DSLR. Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, man. After that, we had Aleister Black in a promo. Did he reference Shakespeare in this?
Yes, he's
the Bard.
The Bard, yeah.
And then was he doling out some lines?
Towards the end, yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought it was.
He said something about masking his villainy and something.
Yeah. They're like, what are you going to do this week, Aleister? I'll read some Shakespeare, maybe.
I just read Hamlet for the 10th time. I'm pretty sure he didn't reference Hamlet.
Yeah, I don't know what the lines were from.
Yeah, I'm really not that
probably
well versed in Shakespeare.
I should have looked them up.
I'm not that well read.
After that, we had. What are you looking
I'm
at?
double checking the dude. I want to give the dude that does Mustafa Ali's stuff credit because he does really good work.
Good.
So
Good.
I'm going through Mustafa Ali's Twitter timeline to make sure I get the name right.
Awesome.
I'm
Well
pretty
done.
sure it's Craig Mitchell, but I want to make sure I get the right name.
Thorough.
Yeah, Craig Mitchell.
Craig Mitchell.
Yep. He does good work. As does Mustafa Ali. Next.
We had the tag match: Shane, Elias, Daniel Bryan, Rowan.
Well, the
versus
issue with
Usos
this
and Reigns.
issue with this match is, I mean, we all know that WWE tag matches are really formulaic. Face gets isolated, gets beat up a lot. Hot tag. Face makes a comeback.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But it was just 20 minutes of Jey Uso getting beat up.
Yeah.
There wasn't a whole lot of ebb and flow in it.
No.
Like, I felt like Jey was in the match pretty much the entire time.
I was just surprised that Roman didn't win. To be honest with you.
Yeah.
Like, if Roman's in a match, I thoroughly expect him to win. And he didn't. So I was like, okay, well, that's cool.
Yeah, Shane hit a coast to coast.
He hit a coast to coast on Jay and he won.
Yeah.
I was cool with that. I thought especially towards the finish. You're right. But I thought towards the finish it really picked up.
It picked up.
and
Yeah,
got
well,
really
it
fun.
wasn't boring by any stretch of the imagination. It was really long, but it didn't feel like there was a whole lot of ebb and flow in it.
Yeah.
It was just Jay getting beat up, working the leg because early on he sold a leg injury.
I really enjoy how they're booking Rowan as just the big mom. Like they're booking him stronger. I like that.
Yeah.
You know.
After the match ends, Miz runs
came
down the
down,
ring
yeah.
with a chair. Shane flees, and then the faces clear the ring of the heels.
Good stuff.
It was after the match. Even like, here's the thing: is like Shane said, if Miz comes down during the match, Money in the Bank match canceled, but he waited till the bell rang.
Yeah.
Match over.
Yeah.
Then he can run down with
He
chair.
could do that.
Yeah.
He could do that. He did it. Good job. And on top of that, it's the go home. What are they going to announce on Twitter? The match is canceled because Miz came down
Well, I
after the
wouldn't
match.
put it past him, man.
I wouldn't put it past him. You're
You
probably
know,
right
something
about
of that magnitude on Twitter.
that. Yeah.
Next, same episode of Firefly Funhouse we'd seen prior.
No, this is a brand new one.
Brand new to SmackDown.
And Corey Graves called it a brand new one. We had never seen this before.
Again,
Larson.
I think people like Raw. Vince thinks people who watch Raw just watch Raw, and who watch SmackDown just watch SmackDown.
He thinks that the brand split is an audience split too.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? We got plenty of viewers. We got 2 million over on Raw and an additional different, completely
Almost
separate
2 million on
2 million
SmackDown.
on SmackDown.
That's almost 4 million viewers. We're in the money.
Money.
Yeah, it's the same one.
They're bringing out Goldberg, man, because they don't have any. Haven't built up any stars.
No, they're bringing out Goldberg because someone in the Saudi Sports Authority wants to see Goldberg on the show.
You know why though? Because
Yeah, I know they haven't invested
because
in
they
building
don't
up
want to
stars
see
of that
anybody that
magnitude.
they've exactly.
I know, and WWE wonders why their ratings are in the garbage.
Look, man, I know comments today are probably gonna be like, "Oh, you guys are like they're positive, they're being negative." I can't help it. I really can't. Read that Variety article, and I'm like, it could be so much better. And it's not even like, oh, I'm fantasy booking. I'd rather see this guy get pushed. It's not that. It's like everybody who's getting pushed, I'm fine with them getting pushed, except for Lars Sullivan. It's just the stories are just so dull, and they could be making money, just so much more money than they're even making right now.
If Vince pushed himself, took a
Or
little bit of
not.
a risk.
Maybe they'd be making the exact same amount of money. I don't know.
Who knows?
What
Who
do I
knows?
know?
Well, I mean, like you can definitely say that they're shooting themselves in the foot by just adhering to the status quo, more or less, despite the fact that the ship is sinking.
It just what the thing is, you need growth, man. I mean, anybody for long-term viability, you need growth.
I imagine in their eyes, like there's growth in the one metric that matters most, and that's money.
I guess so.
Money.
Don't worry about it 5 years from now.
Probably. Do you notice anything different in this Firefly Funhouse? Or did anything else pop out to you, a detail that you missed the first time?
No.
I thought of another reason why something seemed to miss for me, but then I forgot it.
Okay. No, Ryan Satin, though, did post screenshots of the fella who apparently was a big part of designing the mask. I think he's actually the designer of the mask. He posted on Facebook and his interactions with Bray Wyatt. And Bray just does seem like the most creative guy and the most enthusiastic guy about wrestling and what they're doing. And he seemed like an absolute joy to work with, according to this individual. I'm going to give him credit now, too.
There you go.
For the mask. And he said, you know, I know a lot of people. He said, a lot of people have come to me with a variety of questions about inspiration, or he's seen people saying, oh, it's like, you know, it's the Joker, it's Slipknot. And he says, yeah, there's a whole bunch of there's a lot of inspiration there from a lot of different sources. And so he had noted a lot of that stuff. Let's see here. Let me get on young Ryan Satin's.
Next, we had a couple promos while you looked that up from the women's participants in the Money in the Bank ladder match. First, Ember Moon, and then Bailey.
Lots of All Elite on his timeline.
But rather than have them actually involved in the show, a couple iPhone promos.
Yeah, this sort of puts into doubt. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they were sort of hiding Bailey because the win will be more surprising. To me, it just still makes sense for her to win and then cash in. But
well, I mean, if she wins, there's no cash in that on the same night. At this
you don't
point.
think so?
No, I don't think so.
Why is that?
Because I don't feel like there's any momentum behind it. There's just no momentum. It's one of those things that if it happens, it'll be shocking because it happened, but not shocking because storyline led to it per se. I know there's pieces in place with the whole Becky, Charlotte, Bailey match stuff that happened a few weeks back. I understand that. But they weren't really built upon that whatsoever.
Yeah, but you know how they are, man.
Yeah, no, they're going to do
shocking moment
for the sake of a shocking moment.
Yeah. Kyle A. Scarborough.
Gotcha.
On Facebook is feeling motivated. People still do that. They still do the is feeling thing on Facebook. Good for him. But it's a very, very cool take on. It's a very interesting look into the process of it all.
That's neat.
And it's really fun to listen to a guy talk about it.
Yeah. That's neat.
Read him talk about it.
Next, Kairi Sane and Asuka taking on Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville, and the Iconics were on commentary. Before the match began, Paige dropped a promo and dubbed the team of Kairi and Asuka the Kabuki Warriors.
Yeah. So, immediately, actually, when the spoilers were starting to leak out of good old UK, the O2.
We were over there doing some fun wrestling in W Steve W.
And then, so we have like on Twitter, we have, for all of our lovely mods, we have a mod chat thread. And Larson said, "Oh dear, I'm watching them break the news to Karen right now.
In real time, yeah.
In real time that this is happening." And then we saw her explode. the way we figured she would.
Yeah.
And we were all kind of exploding because we were like, really?
Yeah.
That's the best you can come up with? That's the best you can come up with? And then today, Paige tweeted out.
Well, last night, I think, after... Well, maybe I saw it this morning. So maybe it was this morning. Asuka tweeted out... here, I'll pull it up. You can talk about the Paige bit.
So Paige tweeted out, essentially, I'll paraphrase it. She says, the girls...
In response to somebody.
Yeah, the girls picked... the name themselves. And then what did Asuka say?
Asuka tweeted Kabuki Mono and the definition of it, and I apologize if I mispronounce any of this stuff. Senguko or Edo period eccentric who attracted public attention with their eye-catching clothes, peculiar hairstyle and weird behavior, with 3 pictures of herself in her ring and entrance gear.
All right, so to get a more educated take on this, like I said earlier in the show, I asked Karen to send us her thoughts about this instead of arranging for a plane ticket with 2 hours in advance.
Or to zoom her in.
To zoom her in somehow. We need like a hologram. That'd be cool. They got holographic communication devices, so we can have like a little Karen right here.
Oh, yeah, totally.
That'd be kind of cool. Just chilling with us. Hey, Karen, how you doing? Hey, guys. Anyway, so this is what she has to say. Hey, friendo, sorry I missed the live streams this week. It's the second busiest week of the year at my real job. Steven Larson asked me to provide a little perspective as to the issues surrounding the big reveal of Kairi and Asuka as the Kabuki Warriors. I'll be the first to admit that I was rather upset upon hearing the news, but here is a little perspective as to why. Since Kairi's call-up, I have been frustrated that Asuka and Kairi have been assigned Paige as their manager, hype woman, advocate, and mouthpiece. When both women were in NXT, they were given the opportunity to speak for themselves and worked hard to improve their English. Cutting a promo is difficult in one's first language, and for all the grief people give the Full Sail crowd, when they spoke, we quietly listened, which is totally true. Since their pairing with Paige, neither Kairi nor Asuka have really been given the opportunity to cut promos in the ring. They have someone speaking for them in English, but not someone who also speaks their language. It sends a message to the fans that Kairi and Asuka are incapable of communicating their goals and desires as a tag team because English is their second language. The reveal of the Kabuki Warriors could have been better handled, largely in its execution. With all the vast resources available in WWE, they elected to have a non-Japanese advocate announce the new team name at a pre-taped show abroad without an explanation behind the name selection. It made it seem like Paige was unveiling a new car and not presenting the next dominant women's tag team in WWE.
Can I interrupt for a second?
Please do.
Did you notice when Paige said the name for the first time, she said it, I don't know, it seemed like she was very hesitant to say it. Did you notice that?
So I didn't, but I take your word for it because I think I was on my little phone for a second. I think I was more because I took a screenshot of them coming out as their individual names,
I saw that,
and I texted or I tweeted it, I DM'd it into the mod chat. And I was like, okay, so good so far. And then it dawned on me, oh, they're going to reveal it. They're going to do a thing. And so I think I was bracing myself. But I take your word.
I could be completely off, but it felt like Paige was a bit hesitant.
That could be. That totally could be. So she continues. It wasn't Kairi and Asuka announcing to the world that they wanted to honor their heritage by using the lesser known meaning of Kabuki, which led to international outrage because outside of Japan, its interpretation isn't conveyed in popular media. Throw Kabuki into a search engine, you're going to get the art form definition, one of which prohibited women from acting in part for over 200 years. Also, while Asuka wears a mask, that is a tribute to No Theater, N-O-H Theater, a masked performance art, while Kabuki actors wear extreme makeup. It is just confusing to those not familiar with Japanese culture, and it shouldn't be upon the fans to explain it to one another. Honor the culture, but make sure you explain why. Asuka shouldn't have had to explain the lesser-known meaning of Kabuki Mono, which has a different meaning from Kabuki Theater, in a tweet when they could have done all this ahead of time with a single video package. The definition Asuka provides is Edo period, eccentric who attracted public attention with their eye-catching clothes, peculiar hairstyle, and weird behavior. Without any explanation of this difference of interpretation, it is only natural that people can perceive it as lazy and racist. People had the same mixed response with Sho and Yo in Ring of Honor as the Tempura Boys, largely because there wasn't explanation as to why they selected that naming. With all the amazing work the WWE PC team, Performance Center team, is putting together compelling video, there isn't a team who can do the same for main roster superstars. Question mark. Sorry, I read that wrong. If you are going to take away their voices on live TV, find an alternative way to present them by letting them use their own words and language. WWE Japan has been releasing backstage promos in Japanese between Kairi and Asuka ever since Kairi's call-up, but even with the vast resources of the WWE, no one is bothering to subtitle this for the Western audience. They were genuinely excited to finally feel validated at the Kabuki Warriors because it made them feel like an official tag team, not just two Japanese women thrown together. Why wasn't this or any of their other Japanese material subtitled in English so the fans could understand their story? Considering the characters of Asuka, the Empress, and Kairi, the Pirate Princess, this sudden name assignment without the proper clarification is wildly the issue, especially considering WWE's track record with international talent. Alex C. also mentioned in the mod chat, that's kind of the thing, is that WWE has already had so many strikes against them in terms of naming people and presentation of international stars that you don't give them the benefit of the doubt.
No.
Why many jump to the offensive is largely in part to how fans of the shows behave, especially towards the international talent. I have been to NXT house shows while both Asuka and Kairi were in NXT, and had to listen to fans say absolutely sexist and racist things to them during matches, including geisha jokes and mentions of Pearl Harbor. Calling outraged fans ignorant or so-called fans because they came to the defense of Asuka and Kairi should not be an issue because racism in the U.S. and abroad, along with the sexual comments made about them, is the greater concern. Don't make it about damage control or having their manager, advocate, mouthpiece do it for them. If Kairi and Asuka chose the name and as an homage to Japanese culture and the kick-ass Joshi tag teams of the 80s and 90s, right on, but let them tell that story to the universe. Give them that platform. So thank you very much, Karen.
Yes.
That's a long piece, and it's a very well thought out one.
We definitely appreciate her perspective on all that.
Absolutely.
And yeah, if the situation is a name that they chose, as Paige said, then you got to make that clear in the announcement.
You have to make it clear, and there has to be some education.
Yes.
There, you know.
Yes.
So yeah, they had a match against. So then there was a Mandy and Sonya promo. They sort of said their bit, and the Iconics were on commentary.
Yes.
And there was some awkward chatter on commentary about the name too.
Yeah.
Like I think Byron said something like, the name doesn't matter. It's the talent behind the name. There's just a lot of awkwardness there. A lot of awkward talk. I mean, the Iconics were totally in character doing their thing. They said, what do you think about the names? Hate it.
Yeah.
They're going to say that about anything.
Yes.
They're in character. But some of it was obviously just Vince just in the ear. Doesn't matter. The name doesn't matter.
Yeah, I know. That's his idea of, I guess, damage control.
I guess.
It's like, hey, there might be some blowback from this name. Let's just have someone say, oh, the name doesn't really matter. It's the talent that counts.
Yeah.
Anyways, thanks again, Karen. That was fantastic. Thank you very much.
Danny Gray asked, "Can you post that piece that Karen wrote?" Yes, we will make sure that it's either
We can put it on our Patreon. Maybe and just make it public.
That's a good idea. Patreon.com/Stephen Larson.
Yeah, after the show we can do that.
And then we'll put Karen's info in the description.
Yes.
So if she wants to post it on her Twitter, obviously
totally.
she can do that. And
obviously, yeah.
We'll have a thing.
Yeah, that was really, really well thought out, well written. Thank you. Karen's the best.
Karen is the absolute best.
She is the best.
Little hologram of her right
That'd
here.
be fantastic.
Wouldn't that be great?
That would be great. We just need to get our hands on that sort of technology, Steve.
I think that'd be awesome. I've seen it on this show called Star Trek.
I've seen it on something called Star Wars, too.
Awesome. Yeah, but in Star Wars, it's like phasing in and out.
Well, I mean,
it's kind of jank.
It's that particular world is been more or less decimated by war.
Yeah.
So things don't work as well as they probably should.
Excuses. Cool match. Some miscommunication between Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose.
Yeah, Mandy, like Sonya hits a spine buster. Sonya Deville's really good.
I love her.
She's fantastic.
I think she's a gem.
Like, in terms of the character work, her promo, she comes off as very natural, very genuine. I like her ring work.
I really like that they, even if you don't pay attention to like their social media, which you should, because they do have a very good chemistry. It's obvious they like each other.
Yeah. They're legitimately friends. Yes.
On screen as well, they do a really good. I mean, and I think it's honestly just sort of an element of them being them, kind of in this similar aspect to the New Day.
Yeah.
It's obvious that they like each other, and it's obvious that Sonya and Mandy like each other. They just have that vibe, and I think that the writers, creative, Vince, whoever, has done a decent job of letting them be them. Even when Mandy was approaching Sonya and saying, hey, I want to do this, because Mandy's like the more conniving one and Sonya's the more, straight up one.
Yeah.
I like it. I think it's good.
Do you think it's a matter of them being trusted or Vince paying closer attention to other storylines?
Yeah. That's more likely.
Mm-hmm.
That's more likely.
Yeah, that'd be...
Sonya's really good, though.
She's fantastic.
She's really good.
She's really good.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that they love donuts.
I know. That's awesome, too.
That's their thing. That's they have like a road vlog where they go and try different donut shops. And that's amazing. Yeah. So, Sonya hits a spine buster, and Mandy's on the apron saying, tag me in, I want to get the win. Sonya's like, all right, fine, tags her in. Mandy tries to do kind of like a roll-up for the pin. Asuka counters with the crucifix pin. Asuka gets the win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hubris for Mandy Rose.
Hubris.
Costs them the match.
Hubris.
After this, we had a quick shot of Kayla acting all nervous because she has to interview Lars Sullivan. We get a Lars vignette, and then this interview where Kayla tries to ask him a question. She's apparently just petrified with fear, and she walks away.
Yeah. And then she got on a bodybuilding message board and wrote some nasty things about Lars Sullivan. He was like, what do you want me to say? I just got fined $100,000 because I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
And it was kind of dry. I was like, oh, God, really? Him now?
At least, give it a week or two.
Right. Give it a couple weeks.
I know.
Or maybe they're just like,
he's not doing anything at Money in the Bank.
I know.
Unless the idea is he can come out during the Money in the Bank match and like lay everybody out or something. I don't know.
No, they can't do that.
Just for the sake of having him seem like a huge destructive monster.
Yeah, rethink that whole thing.
Just give him a couple weeks off. Reapproach it in a couple weeks. Maybe. Yeah. I don't know.
I really do enjoy the Kevin Owens, Kofi Kingston stuff.
Oh, this is good. So next we had a Owens promo to camera. So he's talking. And he's bringing up that, essentially, Kofi, you won that title because of the New Day. Mm-hmm. But you're in a situation now. Big E's out. Xavier Woods is out. You have to defend this title by yourself. Let's see if you can do it. Essentially, prove that you are championship material.
Yeah. By
yourself.
Yep.
Kevin Owens doesn't think he is. And as he's about to continue talking, hear the New Day's theme. playing, thankfully, in the background, not the arena feed.
Yeah. Right, yeah.
Which happened a couple weeks back and really bothered me.
Yeah.
He's interrupted. Kofi makes his way down to the ring. We go to commercial, we come back, and I really like this. So there's 2 chairs in the ring, and Kofi's just chilling. He's got his feet up, and he says, hey, this is Kevin Owens' show. I'm here first. And then he's the one that introduces Kevin Owens.
Mm-hmm. I like that. That was good.
That was really good.
He gets the position of
Tables
power.
have been turned.
Yeah, that's good.
Kevin Owens no shows, but then he shows up in the Titantron, and again he says says Kofi, you're only champion because of the New Day, and he throws to a video package, kind of highlighting all that. And then Kofi says, I'm tired of you talking, Owens. You come out here, and then Owens says, all right, fine. So he disappears from the Titantron. Emerges on the ramp.
He pulls a Lacey Evans, walks down, walks back, walks down, walks back.
Yeah, he does like a triple Abe Simpson. Eventually, Kofi gives chase up the ramp. They brawl a bit, and then Sami Zayn comes out.
He's the 4th wild card.
That's terrible. He lays out Kofi, and then him and Owens beat him up. Owens goes for an apron powerbomb, and then Xavier Woods comes down. He makes the save. He gets tossed into the ring post. Dong. Eventually, it ends up where Owens has Kofi in the corner. After beating up for a bit, he starts talking a bunch of trash.
It's actually like technically the 5th wild card.
Yeah, probably. You count Usos as 2 or 1?
Elias. Oh, I forgot about the Usos. We're looking at like 6 wild.
Elias,
Miz, Usos. Well, let's count the Usos. As 1. Ricochet.
Yeah.
So Sammy's the 5th.
5th. Fast and loose, man. Like we thought it would happen. So he's talking a bunch of trash to Kofi in the corner, goes for a cannonball. Kofi gets out of the way. Sammy lays into Kofi. He goes for a haluva kick. Kofi evades, I think, sending Sammy over the top rope. And then hits Zayn with Trouble in Paradise. Meanwhile, Owens has left the ring and gone up the ramp.
Yeah.
And so the show ends with Kofi talking trash to Kevin Owens from the ring.
Mm-hmm.
So the math says Kofi loses at Money in the Bank, but
he wasn't He wasn't standing.
I'll get into this more on our predictions episode, which we'll up first thing tomorrow morning. We're gonna shoot later today. There's 2 ways they can go with this, and I feel like the way they're gonna go is while Kevin Owens was talking trash to Zayn or to Kofi in the corner, he was like, well, maybe I'm not alone. Mm-hmm. So Sami Zayn will probably try to get himself involved. Mm-hmm. Xavier Woods will probably come out to even the odds. Eventually, I feel like Kofi will retain. And then maybe at the next pay-per-view, which is Extreme Rules, something like that. Mm-hmm. I don't remember what it is.
They'll either do a last man standing or a cage match.
A cage match, something where outside interference is out of the possibility.
Yeah, disallowed.
Yeah.
They could do, given how we're going to have 2 Money in the Bank matches, which both are going to have definitive finishes. We might have a cash-in.
Yeah.
They could do a DQ here, and I don't think anybody would really care that much because, the other 3 big men, AJ is going to be a definitive finish.
Yeah.
With Seth definitively winning.
Yeah.
We're going to have enough moments that this could be a DQ, although I get the feeling that they probably want to give Kofi win after win after win to solidify the legacy here.
Mm-hmm. And there's also
which I think they've done a good job of so far.
Before the next pay-per-view as well, there's the Saudi Arabia show.
Yes.
So who knows how that's going to play and everything too.
Well, according to some sources, Goldberg is going to beat Kofi there.
Gosh, I hope not.
I love wrestling journalism.
Let's answer some questions, Steve. Zach Hughes, 94.
Ask you some questions.
Why doesn't WWE push Elias? The dude is jacked. He has a look and has decent mic skills. I think just the nature of his gimmick holds him back a bit.
Whoa, hold on a second. The man has a match against the franchise of the company right now.
Yeah, that's a decent push. Which he will lose, but I guess he means why isn't Elias winning some titles for himself?
I think they probably feel, and I kind of agree with this, that the nature of Elias really doesn't need to be about titles, so why bother?
Well, I also feel like the nature of his gimmick, they think, well, he's a borderline comedy gimmick wrestler. You don't really usually put belts on comedy gimmick wrestlers.
It doesn't really usually work. Mm-mm. Like he's a very effective. I mean, I guess he'd be. There's not a whole lot of. Like, would you consider the God? The Iconics don't even win matches though.
No.
Like the chicken shit heel. Who's a chicken shit heel these days?
Other than the Iconics?
Yeah. And they just lose. They don't even like a chicken shit like cheats to win.
Yeah, I know.
But wins. Elias is kind of that.
Kind of.
He's the kind of guy who
He's picked up enough wins on his own that he's not quite there. He doesn't have any cronies to help him win matches.
Yeah,
either.
but you turn your back and you're gonna get a guitar to the head. That's kind of chicken shit. I feel like he sort of occupies that space
a little bit,
and I'm not sure that belts really ever work good on that. Don't get me wrong. I really like Elias.
Yeah, I think he's got a lot of the tools you need for a championship wrestler. I just feel like the gimmick he's saddled with currently
that works really well for him.
Totally,
it works. I mean, that's a good spot for him to be.
Yeah, and his performances night after night are outstanding. Nonetheless, I just feel like based on the gimmick, he's slotted in a certain position in the company, and that's not championships.
Yeah. But it's a good spot for him.
Yeah. But the thing is, I think it'd be easy enough to tweak the character a bit where he can keep 90% of what he does and then pivot to, more of a championship tier wrestler. Not world championship.
I think that could happen.
Totally.
I think that could happen, sure.
But just the way
he's got all the tools for sure.
Just the way the gimmick's constituted now, I don't think it's in the cards.
Yeah.
And now that means losing the musical aspect, making himself not as comedic per se, or just making him less of a chicken shit heel. I don't know what needs to be gone, but some aspect of it has to change before he can break through into title contention.
Yeah.
Adrian C. Bray versus Aleister Black makes sense down the road. Not right now, because Bray can't lose his first feud. Aleister can't lose his first feud. In like a year and a half, sure, but not now.
Wow, we had a 9-day no botch streak.
Wow, that's impressive.
That is impressive, according to Cody Miles here in the Discord.
Wow, that's a record for us.
By the way, for YouTube channel members, just the other day I did post a link to the Discord, so you can have access to that as well, just like the $1 patrons.
Nathan Spencer, who should Buddy Murphy's first feud be with? So during a commercial break on a recent episode of SmackDown Live, he called out Mustafa Ali. We haven't seen Buddy Murphy on TV since he was brought up to the SmackDown roster.
That is correct. Yeah.
But he and Mustafa Ali always put on amazing matches.
Oh, man, yeah. That should be his first feud, too. Absolutely.
Pancakes and Hammers. I love the content y'all provide and appreciate all the hard work you both put in. Keep it up, guys. Thank you very much. Pancakes and Hammers.
Top Guy Hafty asks, what if, this is more your reality than my reality, All Elite crushes WWE in a year. Just listen. Tables turn.
Yeah.
They force a $600 million a year deal from TNT. And WWE just sinks to the ground. They get 10,000 viewers a week.
Yeah.
Right?
They're streaming exclusively on Twitch at this point, yes.
Would we have to rebrand our show to Going In Elite?
Yeah.
Really?
Hell yeah, man.
I think, no way. We're Going In Raw.
No, man. We're all in.
It's a conversation we have to have.
Yes. Dylan Haggett. Vince doesn't want people to be spontaneous because he loses control. I'm sure that's part of it. Also, which guy will do the crazier move, Mustafa Ali or Ricochet?
Oh, man, they better not get into a contest.
I feel like Ali will do the crazier move in terms of putting his body on the line.
Ricochet might do the more spectacular
yes.
move. Big Money GM says, I think things are noticeably worse in the past, however many years. I think things are noticeably worse than the past, however many years. Viewer numbers exemplify that, or maybe are evidence of that. But I also believe writing across the board in entertainment has dipped in 2019. And then he goes on to complain about Avengers and Game of Thrones. But he ends with saying Raw has bored me more than the past 20 years I've been watching.
Okay. Mr. Ollie B27, this money is for Larson to buy a Liverpool top, not Steve to buy a Spurs one. I'm not going to act like I'm a Liverpool fan, so thank you, Mr. Ollie B. But
well, I've got Prince Devitt on my side, man. He's a Hotspurs guy.
Good for you.
Real.
Good for you.
Top Guy Hafty says...
I'm not going to sit here and claim to know anything about European soccer.
Correct.
Football, sorry.
Right. He says, seriously, though, fix the intro with Charlotte repeating herself. But she did repeat herself. We don't play it again.
No, that's a separate thing.
It's her realizing that she says this. She said, Going In Raw. She said, you're watching Going In Raw. And then earlier in the conversation, when I told her the name of the show.
Going In Raw, that sounds terrible.
She said, Going In Raw, that sounds terrible.
Yeah. Kuya Paul says, for human luggage, use cans to weigh bags. Sorry, I meant to send this yesterday. I guess this is a reference to our conversation about the weight of our luggage when we were returning from All In last year.
Wait, what's that? Use cans to weigh bags. Use cans?
I don't know.
Cans. What does that mean?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Cameron Bort 13. What male and female superstar has the most to gain by winning Money in the Bank? Who has the most to gain?
Alex C. here in Discord says, I know it probably won't happen, but how about Sammy with the briefcase and a really shaky alliance with Champion Owens? That could be fun. That'd be a fun gimmick there.
Yeah. Who has the most to gain by winning Money in the Bank? Like, I feel like Drew.
Mustafa Ali.
Yeah. I think he regained that momentum that he seemingly lost when he got hurt.
He kind of lost it.
Yeah, I would think Mustafa as well. Because, like, Drew, you can book him to be top guy pretty easily.
Mustafa or Ricochet.
Yeah.
It's Mustafa or Ricochet, but I feel like it's Mustafa because he had something and he lost it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Mustafa for sure. On the women's side, Ember Moon.
Found the cure for the plague of the 20th century and I lost
I
it.
feel like she should be up in the title picture. BreakingControllers.com. They're called Kabuki, but Asuka wears a no mask. Yeah, Karen mentioned that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm going to head over to the SmackDown thread over on Patreon.
Mr. Ollie B says Vince doesn't put subtitles because he thinks we can't read.
That's a possibility.
Yeah.
Wolfpack for life. Which Cultaholic member has the highest going in Raw math? We don't have to sit here and do math on everybody, but well, Pacitti likes staying in really bad hotels, so he's low.
I think it has to be Ross, right?
Probably Ross. I think he was the guy who didn't they send him like a cease and desist for trying to use King Ross? When you're getting big companies send you cease and desists.
That's strong kayfabe right there.
That's strong kayfabe, I think.
Yep.
Yeah. Plus, he shouted out us a couple times.
Several times, yes.
So he gets highest
Ross. Yeah, Ross.
He's probably like a 10 plus.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, think about it. Promo, it's all 10s.
He was considered
Legacy.
royalty at one point. So
Legacy's like an 11.
Yeah. Eddie Smith. How are wild card spots decided in kayfabe? I just feel like you show
Everybody
up.
runs to Gorilla.
Yeah, it's like when there's an open challenge. Everybody runs to Gorilla and just whoever's first through the curtain.
So you show up at the arena, and then there's like a whiteboard. It has like the open wild card spots. You see if you can get yours in. Sammy's like, hey, Kevin's like, hey, Sammy, can you show up tonight? I'm going to need your help against New Day. Sammy says, well, go over to the whiteboard. Are there any wild card spots left?
I know. If not, write my name in there.
Put my name in there.
Make sure it's the fourth spot, though.
And then Kevin Owens is like...
So Michael Cole knows to say he's the fourth wild card, even though there's already been 4.
Kevin Owens is like, no, it says Mojo's number 4. And he's like, well, just erase that.
Just cross that
because
off.
It's a whiteboard.
Yeah, you can just cross it off. And just stay pat by the whiteboard. Guard it so no one takes my 4th spot.
Yeah.
Tom talks rubbish. Favorite Chris Jericho match?
Oh, the one where Shawn Michaels got so bloody.
Oh, they banned blood.
They banned blood.
Yeah, that was a good match. That was really good.
There you go.
Tom talks rubbish.
I will say this though. His match against Kenny Omega,
Wrestle Kingdom, yeah.
that was so special.
It was.
Because it was like, oh, he's doing like other stuff that you couldn't do in WWE.
And Tom talks rubbish wants to know our favorite Kurt Angle match. It's got to be WrestleMania 18 or 19.
The Lesnar one.
Yeah, that was a really good match. He's had a lot of spectacular matches.
The one against Shawn Michaels at Mania 20.
Oh, that was really good. The finish of that is awesome.
I got to see live, and I don't remember anything about it.
Finish
But
of
I
that
saw
was
it after
great.
the fact. Was great, yes. Let's see here. Matthew Barisic. What are your thoughts of entrance music for a tag team made up of single stars?
Oh, what they do with Asuka and Kyrie's is horrible.
It's pretty bad.
4 bars of this song,
Here's the
4
thing.
bars of that song.
Asuka's theme song is
It's
all-time
fantastic.
great. Kyrie's is pretty damn good, too. Why don't you go to the CFO $sign and have them whip up a new one because they're really good.
Here's what you can do. You don't have to just like do really bad edits every 4 bars going between songs. Take musical themes from each.
Yeah.
Whether it be melody or rhythm, whatever.
So
weave
it's
them
familiar.
together so it's familiar
I
but
bet that'd
different
be an
and
awesome
seamless.
challenge for
Yes.
the CFO
rather than just
$sign.
cutting every few beats
Chop, chop, chop. Yeah.
or every few bars.
Yeah.
Because it's so bad.
The glorious Broken Soundwave. Please come up with a tag team name for Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan.
The Green Experience.
The Green Raiders.
The
Green No Deal.
The Green No Deal. That's good. All right, you win. Green No Deal. That's it.
Oh, man. Here we go. Becca English. This is a great question because it's preceded by an awesome statement. I'm kind of jealous my Mexican boyfriend doesn't have a sexy accent like Andrade. Who's got the best accent in WWE right now? Man, I hope your boyfriend doesn't watch the show.
Who's got the best accent?
Who's got the best accent? Well, Buddy Murphy sounds like Korg. So there's that. Boy, I love Drew's Scottish accent.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah, that's really good. That might be tops for me.
But then when I hear Andrade speak,
It's really good.
it's really good too. So I don't know. There's a lot of great accents out there.
Yeah.
Man.
R.E.E. Handhoko, do you think Bray should also haunt SmackDown? I don't know if they know where he's going.
Should he be above Brand?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Should he be
He should be
perpetual
perpetual wild card, yes. Tom talks rubbish. Favorite English food only served in England. So no fish and chips. You can get fish and chips here. Well, pretty much anything you can get in England, you can get here. You can get bangers and mash here if you go to
We
a
are
pub.
cousins in many ways, including food. Yeah,
Yeah.
culinary delights.
So you can get shepherd's pie here easily.
Mm-hmm. I mean, at World Market, they got my digestives, McVitie's digestives.
Yeah, you can pretty much find anything here. It's like you go to an English pub and they serve, typically, if you go to one that tries to be authentic.
Man, I love the
English
Fat
pub
Rabbit
food.
near
Yeah,
our
it's a good
house.
place.
Oh, man. The
Yeah,
pierogies.
Their chicken pot pie is really good because it's got puff pastry on top.
Yeah. So I don't know. Man, you know that new, I think it's a vegan place. They just opened up like in Midtown. What are they called? Batch?
Oh.
Batch something or another? They tweeted out this picture of like some, what's it called? Batch? What the fuck is it called?
There's some good restaurants in Midtown.
There are. There totally are. I don't know what it is. They tweeted out this picture of a freaking like loaded fries with like caramelized onions and freaking some weird vegan cheese. It looked delicious.
Yeah.
Man, I wanted to eat it all. I wanted to all eat wrestling.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm going to load it up so you can look at it.
Cool.
But in the meantime, you find another question.
Oh, that's all I got to hear on the
Really?
Super Chats. So now I got to go to the Patreon. I wasn't there. I wasn't prepared.
Here we go. Thomas Dunnigan, could Vince be making a huge mistake with using Roman on both Raw and SmackDown? As it seems he's one of the major targets for this wild card rule. Vince still sees him as a top player in WWE, but could his appearance on both brands lead to the character becoming stale again, resulting in boos like before?
Well, if the issue is that the networks demand Roman, who they've been told is the top guy, then it's kind of out of Vince's hands to a certain extent.
Hands.
Again, because they haven't really invested a whole
The
lot.
Burger Patch.
They haven't invested. Oh, yeah, that does look good. They
I
haven't
know you're not a
invested
cheese
enough
guy.
time in developing other stars. They've mortgaged the future of the company. That looks good.
It's like Impossible Burger. It's plant-based stuff.
Yeah, I've had Impossible Burger before.
Holy crap. But how many calories do you think that is?
It's probably not that dissimilar from a hamburger.
Of the same size, right?
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it's,
yeah.
This is probably like a good 1,500 calories. Right
Yeah,
here.
totally. Yeah, there's a lot of cheese on that still. Even if it's
Holy
vegan
moly.
cheese, it's probably
That
still
looks
fat-based.
amazing, though.
It's just a byproduct of them mortgaging the entire future of the company on Roman Reigns, pretty much.
Yeah, we've been saying that for years. It's not a good idea to do that.
No. Rich the Smash Bro, with Finn taking the pin, does that show they're losing faith in him already? No, they want this Andrade Finn feud, which I'm all about. I'm totally cool with that, but they haven't really been doing much with Finn since he's won that Intercontinental title.
No, they haven't. Although I kind of feel like Finn's always kind of like a really solid backup plan, or a guy who's sort of in waiting. You know, I mean,
Or a guy they take for granted.
They do. They totally do. He can't go back to New Japan now, though, because El Phantasmo's there.
Yeah.
They already have a Finn Balor over
Yeah, I
there.
know.
And he's a Canadian Finn Balor.
Yeah, he just needs to get a real rock and roll type theme, and it's pretty much a done deal.
I know.
Emilio Rafael, to make SmackDown Live feel like a different brand from Raw, what significant changes would you make to it? Was it Defy that shoots all their stuff with DSLRs? It gives a real cinematic yet kind of intimate feel.
Defy does.
And I think Beyond Wrestling does.
I think Beyond, yeah. Somebody sent
Something
us a
like
thing.
that. Make the presentation, how you shoot the matches, just a little more cinematic. I don't know
Would you
how
go
well
all-
you can do that live, but you could damn well
Yeah.
try. Like bring the house down and the crowd low, get rid of the blue lights.
That's a big change.
Make it feel more like, in Evolution, it felt kind of like the pay-per-view Evolution. It felt somewhere between a televised show and a house show. Have SmackDown have that kind of feel.
Can you imagine if they all of a sudden started shooting matches in 24 frames?
It'd be beautiful.
That'd be weird, though.
It would be weird, but it'd
There's
be
such
great.
a weird disconnect there.
Do that, and then also, you can't just do traditional promos. You got to do the fly-on-the-wall stuff.
Yeah.
Which takes a different approach to writing. But I think, I don't know, imagine like a lot of the stuff Kevin Owens was saying last night, if it was in a conversation with Sami Zayn and it was shot, fly on the wall or documentary style.
Yeah.
That'd been a heck of a lot more interesting, I think.
I agree. I agree with everything you said. I think that taking that approach, I do wonder practically, not even practically, I wonder how much of that would play into TV contracts, though, because they, if they want a more sports, or if the big thing right now with them is we're adding this to our sports lineup.
Yeah, I know, and that's the only. I mean, but if that's the case, then their emphasis on promos spoken directly to camera seems to run counter to that, because that never happens in the world of
I'll
sports.
put it this way: I think if they produce it the way they produce NXT,
Yeah.
because NXT does a lot of the stuff that you're talking about.
Yeah.
And
they can be cheesy at times, but the way NXT and NXT UK does the kind of spontaneous press conference thing, it's like, when after game, all the players are in their lockers and the press comes in, they get to interview them. Mm-hmm. And I just want things to feel more spontaneous, more than anything else. And even if they change the presentation of the in-ring product, or don't change, the presentation of the in-ring product, I feel like they need to do something with stuff done backstage to make it feel more spontaneous. Even just like when Batista showed back up, and he goes with the cameraman and goes, "Come with me."
It's good.
Stuff like that to make it feel like backstage is like a living, breathing entity where it's fluid and dynamic, and things can change on a dime rather than everything being so staged.
how about this? Have Stokely Hathaway host every episode of SmackDown.
There you go. Yeah,
That's good.
that'd be good.
Shenanigans.
And there's still the story about him trying to find a CD player.
Exactly.
That bit with him and Adam Cole was so good. It
was so
Oh
awesome.
my gosh. All right, I'm sorry. Let's try this again.
Oh, man. Let's see here. Cult of False Realities. We kind of echoed this earlier. Why didn't WWE give us a longer run with Roman and the Usos as the Bloodline? If you put them in a match with the New Day, you get a 6-star match.
Yeah, that'd be really good. Locaine, Elias is SmackDown. Okay.
Elias is Smack. That's what he says.
Yeah.
Big Elias fan there.
Maybe.
Good.
He's the franchise of SmackDown, maybe.
He's the franchise.
Or he's emblematic of what SmackDown is right now.
Wait,
I don't know. What?
forget. Is Elias SmackDown or
Uh-huh.
Raw? He's SmackDown.
yeah.
Oh, okay. So
Remember,
Elias
he's the greatest acquisition in SmackDown history.
That's right.
Vince himself brought him to the show.
Uso. Maybe Sammy was the fourth. Wait, Usos, Ricochet, Miz.
Oh, you count Elias?
Yeah, I count Elias
Oh,
there.
oops, no, that's incorrect.
Okay. Sammy's the fourth then.
I didn't notice you said Elias. I wasn't really paying attention.
That's okay. I'm sure there was somebody else. That'd be Elias. I'm sure there was somebody else, man.
No, they violated their own rules.
They did. They did. Damn it. They did. Damn it. I just don't know. Elias has been on both shows like every single week, so
Yeah, no. He's like perpetual wild card.
it's so confusing.
Dragon Reborn says Shayna robbing Stokely is gold. I have not seen that yet, but heard good things about it.
We should just like watch all that.
Heck yeah, man.
I watched 205 last night.
How was it?
Really good.
Yeah.
The Ligero match. Ligero's interesting. The match before that was really good. Man, friggin' Humberto is so great.
He's really good, man.
He's so awesome. What do we have coming up on Overrun?
I don't know.
On bonus episode.
Well, it's Chat Trivia Day.
That's always fun.
And then non-news, I don't know. There's no tease because I don't know what it's going to be. I'm going to talk Killer Cross wanting out of Impact.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right.
Why does he want out of Impact?
We'll get to that.
Okay, we'll just talk about it later.
Yeah, during Overrun, yes.
Anyways, I want to say thanks to everybody out there. Let's see here. No Twitch stream today. Hey, if y'all want to enjoy tonight, I think I'm going to try Mondays and Wednesdays, and then once over the weekend, my own personal Twitch stream.
All right.
Twitch.tv/MFSteve here.
All right.
The Continuing Adventures of Steve Thunder or Red Dead Redemption.
Very well.
Whichever one.
Who knows?
Anyways, I want to say thanks to everybody. We appreciate it. Patrons $5 and up. YouTube channel members, if you click join, you'll have access to the bonus episode live. We'll be doing chat trivia. You can win a drawing drawn by Larson today.
Either one of us or both of us. It could be collaboration.
If you win chat trivia, just say, I want Larson to draw it.
Or if you want Steve, say
and
you
he
want
will
Steve.
draw it.
Or you want both of us to do it.
Yeah, collaborative ones are rare.
Yeah, no, that's the rarest. Mm-hmm. I've done 2 solo. You've done a bunch solo. We've only done 1 together, I think.
I think so, yeah. But I feel like you can
rarest
have
one.
a couple more weeks. I know you enjoy it.
Not at all.
Thanks so much for everybody tuning in, and thanks again to Karen.
Yes, thank you very much,
for her
Karen.
very well thought out.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Essay.
Yes, thank you.
So thank you guys. Till next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.
Be a part of Going In Raw today at patreon.com/Steve and Larson. Starting at $1 a month, you can enjoy Going In Raw ad-free, gain access to the daily 30-minute Going In Raw post show, exclusive merchandise, and so much more. Support Going In Raw today. Click the link in the description.